Okay, this is just a little video to illustrate how to practice. And so you'll be watching me actually practice a section of two measures of one of the orchestra pieces that I'm currently working on. First step is to identify what's likely to trip you up. And from this particular section, every single note has an accidental in front of it, except for like two of them. And there's also a transition where the first beat is eighth notes and the rest are triplets with a double up bowing to get from one beat to the next. And so that transition's also going to be, as we start putting this back into tempo, one of the things that I have to watch out for. The very first thing to do is to play through it and use your best ideas as to what's coming to come up with a fingering that works best. I have one in here that is, I think, generally okay, but it may need some tweaking, so I'm going to start with that. Now, I'm not really thrilled with that fingering. When you practice and you come up, identify what felt the weirdest and address that first. For me, it was the transition. Going from all of those stretches to coming back down here. And so I'm going to play around with a couple of fingerings and see what I can come up with. So I found one that I like. I started a beat before to make sure it made sense in context. And it does. So now I'm going to make sure, now that I've written it in, make sure that it is really something that I like. And I think it's going to be something that's going to work. So I'm going to put it back into context, still in this tempo, which I must say is maybe half tempo, maybe slower than that. So I'm way slow, but for now, that's where the best work of figuring out exactly what your fingers and your hand and your bow arm have to do to make everything happen the way you want. And that fingering definitely worked out the way I wanted it to, which is excellent. I'm going to do one more time the exact same thing just to make sure. So now I'm going to stay in the same tempo. I'm going to see if I can smooth out the transition between eighths and triplets. And I'm also going to attempt to add in a couple of the forzandos that are in there. Again. I put one of those forzandos in the wrong spot, so I'm going to isolate. Back to the beginning of it. That was better. Again, because the best science is repeatable. Good. Now again. Unhappy with those forzandos? Now this time there is an overall crescendo from, it's not really clear, less than forte to forte. I'm going to say mezzo blah, probably a little less based on what was coming before. Mezzo forte minus up to forte. Up to only forte. So if I'm correct, several places in this piece have like 9 fortes. So... Again. Have to be ready for those multiple down bows coming out of it. Well, on the arrival of it. Again. And I've actually started to approach the correct tempo on this. Okay, let's see. Notice my fingers got tied. I'm going to isolate that spot. And it's that fingering that I wasn't so sure about at the beginning, so I'm going to spend some time here. So getting into it from the measure before all of this. Wait, I'm bowing. Etc. So it's already in a very different place than it was just a few minutes ago, 8 minutes ago.